Hello, I'm Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, and I am here doing a test video. Before I go any further, I need to just tell you I don't spend a lot of time on YouTube. I am a very driven person. I'm very focused, and quite frankly, I feel I spend way too much time on the internet as it is. So I've been spending, I love reading books, actual books, not the electronic things, although I read those too, but extremely rarely. Journal writing has become a very important part of my life, more so than ever before. And I also feel that, life, and I have a professional psychic practice, and I also have a side position of employment that's been more full-time than part-time since last September 2014. And then of course there are those days when it's like I just forget the world exists, and I just decide, you know what, I'm gonna I call them sacred solitude days, because what I'm doing is I'm keeping my cell phone turned off, no internet access, and I'm just forgetting about the rest of the world and engaging in spiritual practices, whether it's ritual work, whether it's spellcraft, whether it's meditation and prayer, journal writing, all of that, and or catching up on household tasks, like organizing my bedroom clothing closet. However, all that being said, lately the goddess has been leading me to spend more time on YouTube than I ever have in all the years that I've watched YouTube videos. And I need to personally acknowledge and thank with great gratitude and praise Avalon's Spiritual Journey, Owl Moon 513, and my homegirl, love this bitch, and she would say that too, because she can call me a bitch whenever she wants, emberhoneyraven. These three women have been reminding me of something that was an integral part of my life, an integral part of my being, my body, mind, and soul in the physical realm. And that is the journey. Whether it's the journey towards being a full-fledged witch, the journey to being an accurate, effective, insightful, intuitive card reader, the journey to be more spiritually connected to the goddess, the god, the goddesses and gods, and other celestial beings, including but not limited to ascended masters, angels, fairies, saints, devas, dakinis, whichever culture is your own. And I've been feeling wistful because I remember that. I remember this enthusiasm and this sense of adventure and this sense of wonder with regards to, oh, I bought a new deck, let me check it out. And the daily practice of pulling a card for the day and allowing it to speak to me, or in some cases scream at me, as my feline familiar, Isis the alpha female, says, "Hey, feed me, bitch." Me, the slave. Anyway, so I cannot thank the three of you enough. And it's no coincidence that all of you embody the triple goddess, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. Two of you are children, or have children, human children, and one of you, I don't know. I mean, Ember, I know you have a wife, and you crack me up. You just crack me up. I'm serious. I'm like, I still remember your sheer delight with regards to finding this secondhand spell book with a Spiral Swine. You were like, this bitch can lay flat. I had to pause the video for so long. So what I've been divinely guided to do with regards to this particular video is to let you know that I'm going to keep my promise to these living goddesses of spirituality, of the sacredness of the journey. And I am going to make more time to make videos on YouTube. Please don't be surprised if months go by before you see one, you know. And please don't hold that against me, because, you know, between my professional psychic practice and my side position of employment, I'm averaging 50 to 70 hours a week. And then, of course, there are those insignificant things, you know, like sleeping, eating, you know, bathing, you know. So and I'm crystal clear that when it comes to my persona, I am like Beyonce. I am not going to leave my apartment looking like a slob. This is not going to happen, you know. But I need to reconnect with that. I need to remember that sense of joy and wonder and delight with a tarot deck, or a divination deck, or a book, or a journal, or even something like a crystal. You know, it's funny because I almost never use spirit boards, and earlier I was spending time with Doreen Virtue's Angel Guidance Board, and it had been a long time since I'd spent time with that board. And you know, one of the sacred tools that was made known to me, that made its presence known to me, was crystals. And it's ironic because, as some of you remember from my previous video, I'm currently leading a course entitled Goddess to the Next Level, which is my very second as opposed to my very first Goddess course. And from the very first class, the Goddess guidance, if you will, has been work with feminine elements. Water, such as Florida water, essential oils, essential oil blends, and earth, like crystals, herbs, roots, trees. So some of these videos will have to do with my experiences with that course, some of the blessings the participants have received. But I also feel, because my very first screen name and my constant screen name on whatever website or social media platform I'm using is almost always the Tarot Man. Oh boy, this woman wants to be fed. Alright, I'm going to feed you in a moment. I know you don't believe me, but just give me one moment. She doesn't like it when I pet her like a dog. She's like looking at me like, what are you doing? I am no dog. And she just looks at me like, and I'm like, but that's my way of saying, okay, I know what you're doing. Those of you that have cats, you know what I'm telling her. And you know what she's telling me too. Anyway, so I'm not going to make this too long, because it's already pretty long. But I promised emberhoneyraven that I'm going to share some of my favorite decks in the next few days, well, actually next few weeks. And those of you that know me, you know how I feel about doing what I say, saying what I do, and honoring my promises and honoring my word. And some of you know this all too well, because I've come very close to bitch smacking you or throwing you out a goddamn window because you broke your promises to me again. You know who you are. Yeah, anyway. I almost said a name. That's like, Rob, don't do that. So I'm looking forward to reclaiming that wondrousness of my spiritual journey. And I look forward to hearing from you in how this is resonating for you, or if it's not. You know, I would appreciate only kind and respectful comments, but hey, it's the internet. Some people are going to write whatever they want, whether anybody else likes it or not. But just remember, those of you that don't make kind comments, I know how to hex really well. Anyway, so this is a test video. It may or may not come up. It may or may not be uploaded, but just to let you know, I wanted to just like do this. So thank you. And many blessings to you and yours.